with us here on Jindal Panther Cricket Live. You've seen some extraordinary work from Bangladesh. 157 is what the Tigers need to chase down in their opener. You can continue watching that on SS2. But here with World Cup winner Gautam Gambhir in the house, we build up to South Africa taking on Sri Lanka. This is in your hometown, mine. And it's been interesting as well because we spoke so much about the Dharamshala when you saw in the first game, saying that, oh, it'll fly off. But it's been different. It's been gripping a little. This is quite important from that. Batting first. When we have a look at the team, we look at the composition. We've spoken about the might of their batting. Also a name to mention in that in terms of understanding conditions, subcontinental conditions, big occasions for your nation and trusting your teammates. How well do you know your teammates? Let's find out in the Protean Fire Camp.
No one.
The conviction with which you said that as well. Look, it's a big weekend for us here on Jindal Panther Cricket Live, powered by Amul. We've already got a game in Dharamshala. Bangladesh have given themselves 157 to chase in their opener. South Africa will be batting first against Sri Lanka in Delhi. And tomorrow, Team India take to the field to open their World Cup campaign. History of the World Cups, but they know the conditions, Australia. These players are well assured, as Captain Pat Cummins has also said, that listen, we've been here, we've done that. We are also looking forward to get this encounter started. We talk about preparation. They were here for a one-day series. They will remain for a T20 series after this. Australia have made themselves quite happy staying in the Indian subcontinent. Being in Chennai, of course, one of the questions is always going to be, Gauti, with someone who played with you in that 2011 World Cup, which was Ravichandran Ashwin, being a hometown hero. Is he slotting into your 11 in place of Shardul Thakur? I mean, how do you see this going?
Look, it's a no-brainer. He has to be in the playing 11, looking at the conditions.
Hendrik Klaasen, he's been in awesome form, as we saw that earlier in the IPL as well, and he's geared to get this World Cup campaign started.
Hendrik, thanks for talking.
Then I need to make sure that we go all the way.
Play well.
Thank you, appreciate it.
Where in previous years that middle order for South Africa may have been in concern, they come into this World Cup with number 5 and 6, averaging in the high 50s, and Gautam, you yourself possess that ability. But for Hendrik Klaasen, the way he approaches spin and plays spin in the subcontinent, what sets him apart?
I think he's the best. Now they've got the experience of subcontinent conditions as well, but Hendrik Klaasen, I think he's got everything possible what you want to see in a batter in white ball cricket, and that is exactly what he's done over last 1 year. The amount of hundreds he's got, whether it's in 100, whether back in South African League or for South Africa. I think even against Australia, the kind of 100 he got was fantastic. So I think this could be his World Cup from the personal point of view.
There's serious batting might. Usually you talk about the bowlers from South Africa's perspective. You're talking about the batting might. As Gautam mentioned, you know, even Marco Jansen can hold the bat down the order. So that's going to be some hard work for Sri Lanka, who put South Africa into bat first. Some of them playing their first World Cup. A young Matisha Patirana who knows Indian conditions, but how geared up is he to be playing in this World Cup?
Matisha.
He's a big match player. And speaking of big match players, Mithari Raj, Dale Steyn, Nasser Hussain, all joining us here on Jindal Panther Cricket Live, ready to get your weekend started. This should be the time where you're about sitting down with your second or third cup of coffee, because that's usually what I do about 9 o'clock when you have a child. That's what happens. But this is essentially where you want to be. It's about this weekend of power-packed action. And just about 24 hours to go. Mithari Raj, former India captain, for over 1 billion, hopes to rest on those 11 shoulders clad in blue as they open their campaign in Chennai up against Australia. Just the anticipation of weeks and years and 4 years when they walk out of that field to open their World Cup campaign and look to reach occasions. But I hope you've taken a moment to just enjoy the sights, the sounds, because after that, all the focus is going to be on 2 players like Rashid Khan and Shakib Al Hasan, because they are vital. They are big match players. They are the players who shine or should be shining when World Cups come around.
Yeah, absolutely.
The moves in the morning, he's in a pretty good moves. Dale Steyn, who've got the moves for the Proteas in this World Cup campaign? They play later on the day in Delhi, which we know spin a little bit. Against Sri Lanka, who have a band of spinners. Which South African player will shine for you in this World Cup?
I think you've got to keep your eyes on Hendrik Klaasen, performer throughout all three formats. So these guys, I'm really excited about them in this World Cup.
I was waiting for you to battle off all 11 because why not? That's how exciting they are. Game changers, match winners. It's a double-header today on Saturday. Let's find out what's on the show. We're well underway in this edition of the Cricket World Cup with it returning to Indian shores after 12 years. The Pakistan team were back in India after 7 years, and we were personally so excited to see them in action up against Netherlands. And everyone knows when there's a team like the Netherlands, don't ever discount any nation that is playing in this World Cup. Here's a recap of yesterday.
All out for 205.
Babar Azam, the smiling captain at the end of the day, a significant victory from them. But Nasser Hussain, getting into this competition, you were talking about Pakistan's top considered an option at the top then. One would assume Ishan Kishan opens the inning if Shubman Gill doesn't play. What makes sense for you to give a partner to the captain, Rohit Sharma?
Well, I think first of all you have to take
Batting against, that's the question, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's the thing. I think in Chennai in those conditions, you'd probably...
The capital city is clearly geared up for that affair later on in the evening. This will be a World Cup where so many of our favorites, the modern masters, the great players of this generation, we may not see them again in another World Cup. And for South Africa and for a lot of Indian fans, that is Quinton de Kock, who has experience of playing in not just all over India, but in Delhi as well. So he understands how to approach these conditions. How pivotal will his role, not just as a batter, but with the mindset that he has, be for South Africa?
Yeah, he's a huge player for South Africa. Massive.
It's going to be Sri Lanka taking on South Africa. South Africa come to this with so many of their players having been playing in India, excelling in these conditions, are polycab players to watch out for. Oh, I think Haydos can't hear me. I think I'm going to get upset when I mentioned Australia's game tomorrow as well. But I'll ask you the same question as well, Adele, because there are two cracking contests. Of course, South Africa also in action. Just the way that this World Cup has started with the New Zealand dominating Pakistan them on your behalf. So today, Dale, we've got this for you. Which bowler is likely to make the biggest impact in the Bangladesh versus Afghanistan match in this World Cup? We're talking about Dharamshala. World Cups, it's all about creating your own legacy, scripting your own chapters. Sri Lanka did it in 1996. Will 2023 be the year for South Africa? That's the question. They have been highly rated coming into this competition with the prowess that they possess in certain battles. Mithari, just one key battle. This has been played in Delhi. We know the conditions can turn a little bit at times. What is one key battle that you really enjoy in tonight's encounter?
Well, I'm looking for Patirana, the young.
For India tomorrow, can they end that 12-year wait? Everywhere they go, they will be reminded of it. But they're players who thrive in pressure situations. They're players who want to create diamonds when they're put under that certain pressure. And a player like that is Virat Kohli, who's been hard at work gearing up for the Australian challenge. Fair enough. But perhaps a good toss here for Shakib Al Hasan to win from that perspective, playing in his fifth, leading yet again. Let's get to know this highly rated all-rounder who could end this World Cup as one of the most significant all-rounders in the history of World Cups.
So, yeah,
That's a classic.
quite a weird combination that, isn't it?
We like it. We like weird combinations. You've got to have those sort of combinations to be able to walk out there and win a World Cup. You've got to be flexible. You've got to be a superstar. You've got to understand your role and take pressure, just like Rashid Khan did today. Take on Sri Lanka, and within South Africa, Protean fire. You see it in KG Rabada, picked by many to really blow this World Cup apart. Some of the fast and furious bowlers that we are looking forward to seeing.